Oh, I just got the go sign. So actually, I started to talk a little too early. This is our first attempt at the new pen that I got. So hopefully this will move smoothly and I'll be able to get a few videos posted quite quickly. So for Intro to Latin, Lesson 1, we have been having a little trouble, trouble's not the right word maybe, getting the corrected files uploaded so that you can earn credit for the accuracy of your grammar as we grade those. Normally, we would see each other more and I might not need to have this as an assessment option, but it's something that we can do at home and keep us moving forward while we're in the class. So I'm going to make videos that go through the corrections so that you can write them out at your own pace, and we'll see how that works. So for this video, I'm doing Lesson 1, B and C, corrections. So get started with B. Pronounce, give case and number, and translate. Number 1, féminis, féminis. Now, féminis, long IS, can actually be two cases. It can be dative or ablative plural. The book tells us to do the dative version. So I'm going to say dative plural. The abbreviations are fine. DAT for dative, PL for plural. And then we need to give the translation. Now remember, this is not just wife or woman. That would just be the vocab meaning. Dative plural tells us that it's to or for the women. So, Femin told us that it was woman. Is told us that it was to or for, and that it was plural. So we want to make sure we get all of those parts in our final answer. Number 2, Italia, Italia. That short A, nominative singular. And our translation for nominative is just the noun, Italy, Italy. Number 3, puellae, 3 ways. Puellae, 3 ways. 2, 3. We also know vocative, but we're just throwing it out the door for the moment. We know it exists. We know we go, oh, and then the noun, but we're just going to leave that to the side. So what other 3 options are AE? We have genitive singular, dative singular, and nominative plural. Genitive singular, our key word for genitive would be of, and then we have a singular girl. We could also say girl apostrophe S. That way we have a singular possessive. Dative singular, to or for the girl. And nominative plural. Nominative is just the noun, but in the right number. So I have more than one, the girls. Number 4, memoriam, memoriam. The AM tells me that it is accusative singular. For the accusative, I just use the noun as my translation. So it's a memory or the memory. Number 5, of life. Oh, I went down to C. Silwas, silwas. S-I-L-V, long A-S, silwas. The long AS tells me that it is accusative plural. And since it's accusative, I just use the noun. Plural, I need to make sure I say forests. The forests. Number 6, linguarum. That's an N. Linguarum. L-I-N-G U-A-R-U-M. That was really poor writing. Sorry about that. So lingua tells me that it's tongue or language. Aurum tells me that it is genitive plural. And I use my keyword of the languages, or languages apostrophe. That way I keep that plural intact. Number 7, insulam. Accusative singular. Insula, insulae, island. Also an apartment building, because that's like an urban island. And because it's accusative, I just use my noun, singular, one island. An island or the island. Number 8. Poetae sunt agricolae. So they usually try and throw a couple in at the end that stretch our thinking. And we shouldn't be worried if we get these wrong, especially not when you work on them at home before we go over them. But they often lead to a good conversation. So it's an opportunity to learn. So we've got poetae, poet, from poeta, poetae. And then our AE could be 3 options. Remember back up here to our puellae, where we had 3 options. Genitive singular, dative singular, nominative plural. Now, as we look at those options for this sentence, we have more context. So we might be able to answer which of the 3 options it actually is. So for dative has to be an indirect object. Indirect object requires a verb of giving, showing, or telling. And we don't have that here. We just have a sunt. And sunt means are, that linking verb. So it can't be dative. We can mark it off the list. Now, genitive is possession. Now remember, for genitive possession to work, the noun that is possessing has to be in contact with another noun in the sentence to possess it. So here, that poetae is next to a verb on one side, nothing on the other. Cannot be a genitive. That leaves us with our nominative plural. Can it be a nominative plural? Well, we have a third person plural verb, so yes, we can have a plural nominative. And our use for nominative is the subject. So we have so far the poets are. Now, we hit agricolae. Agricole tells us farmer instead of poet, but we have that same AE. So we have the same 3 options. Now, our dative singular question hasn't changed, and we still don't have a verb of giving, showing, or telling. So we can mark that one off. Then we come to our genitive singular, and just like the poetae, the agricolae has a verb to one side and nothing on the other side. Cannot be the genitive singular. Once again, we are left with nominative plural. But it cannot be the subject. We already have a subject, and we don't have an and or something to make it like the poets and the farmers are. So it's got to be a nominative to the right of the verb, and we call that a predicate nominative. We talked about that in class. If you have questions about it, let me know. The poets are farmers, to finish out that translation of the sentence. Number 9, sunt literae. Sunt literae. Sunt, third plural, could be they or there are. They are or there are. liter, letters. I'm going to go straight to nominative plural. Why? I still have a verb of being. I cannot have an indirect object. And this time I only have one noun. There's nothing to possess. When we lead with the verb of being, we like to go there are. And then we fill in our letters. Now, there are letters. It would actually be how we write there is a letter, like a handwritten letter. Why? Because a single littera is a letter of the alphabet. A plural litteri, litterarum is the written letter. In English, we need that singular verb to go with that written letter as we call them a collective noun. It's a plural concept that is represented by a single noun. There is a letter. Let's see if we can squeeze number 10 onto this page before I go on to C. Gallia est provincia. Provincia. Two nominatives. I've got a linking verb in the middle. I have Gaul is a province. Nominative singular, nominative singular. That brings us to the end of the corrections for B. Corrections for B. I'm going to stop here because I'm already at 10 minutes, and then I will do C separately.